So we've got a brand new model in the world of image generation, and it is called Muse Image. And it is straight from the Meta's Superintelligence lab. And right alongside it, they previewed a video model too, and it is called Muse Video. Now, before we get into the benchmarks and who beats who and all of that, I actually want to talk about how this model is very different. Because the benchmarks, they don't really tell the exact story here, right? Here, the approach of this particular model is very unique. So, if you think about it, most image models, you give them a prompt, they map straight to pixels, right? You will type your words and you'll get a picture, and that's usually the whole deal. In this case, Muse Image doesn't operate like that. It operates as an agent. Because what Meta Superintelligence Lab has done is they have given this model various tools. So let me break it down what that actually means, because this is really the cool part, right? So the tools that they have given, number one, it can search the web. So instead of only knowing what it was trained on, it will look things up and grounds your image in real and current facts. Now, some of the models like Nano Banana also do this, but this is one of the tools that now Muse Image model also has got access to. Two, it also writes and runs actual code. An image model writes and runs actual code. That's how it nails the precise stuff. For example, you are able to create a QR code that actually scans a chart where the numbers are actually right. The things image models are usually not very good at, right? Now, three, it also self-refines. So it looks at its own work, decides it's not good enough, and fixes it on its own, right? And Meta says they didn't even design that. It just showed up during training. So phenomenal there. Four, the more this model thinks, same if you think about the reasoning models, right? The more time you give it, the more it can reason, the more tool calls it can do. This is the same for it, but from an image perspective. So obviously the results are expected to be better, right? And on top of all of it, it teams up with Muse Spark. That is Meta's language model. So the two share tools and they plan together, which is how an image model ends up making animated GIFs and also like interactive games. So it's not a type a prompt and get a picture anymore. It's more like handling the job to do something that actually reasons about it and hands you back an image as an output, right? And honestly, that's the part I think is genuinely cool and unique. So here's what I did. Instead of just reading you the blog, I went and tried every bit of this. Let me walk you through it. And for each piece, I will show you what I ran, and you can also go ahead and access it. Right now, it is available as a consumer app. So we'll go through it together. A quick disclaimer before we do that, all opinions are my own and do not belong to my employer. And to be clear, this is absolutely not sponsored. I'm not at all associated with Meta. Okay. All right. So with that, let's get into it. All right. So now I'm in meta.ai, and you can see that they have now got this option to create images. And then they also have this amazing templates that you can go ahead and use, right? You can get started from there. Now, what I want to do is actually test out a few different things. So the first thing that they mention is now it has got access to code. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to ask it to create a QR code for my own website, which is advancedmartech.com, and then open the generated code and confirm it actually decodes to the exact URL, and then place it on a clean modern conference slide titled AI with Surya, right? So this is like a real agentic workflow, and I want to really see that this works or not, right? So let's just ask it to run this and see this in real action. The assumption is because this is agentic, it will start showing the different tool calls. And in this case, it should be writing a code, and you can already see it is starting to generate like the slides. So you can see here, if I click on this, it is showing the sources. So, what is the QR code? Then it's now verifying the QR code. It's now generating this particular conference slide, and looks like it has done the job. So what I want to do now is actually go ahead and check it, because it was so fast that I can't really believe it. And there you go. So it was actually able to take me directly to the website, right? Which is exactly what I wanted. So you can see here the steps that it is showing. These are the steps that the agent is taking on its behalf, right? So very slick, and it does the job, and it can also export it as a PPTX, etc., which will be the next step. So that was the first use case. Let's just go to the second one. All right. So the second test I want to give is to really test its search capability. So today was FIFA's match between Argentina and Egypt, which just happened this afternoon. So it is brand new. There's no way this model could have been trained on that. So what I want it to do is actually create an image based on that particular match. And I also want it to put the image of the player who actually scored as part of that infographic sheet, right? So that's what I want to actually test out. So I think from Argentina, it was Romero and Messi and one more. And then on the Egypt side, there were two goals that were scored. So let's see if it is able to come back. But you can already see the steps which the agent is taking. It is already looking up, designing the match graphic. It is already searching for the players' images. So it'll be very interesting to see the output. We'll wait for it to show the final output to see and confirm if it is able to use the search tool pretty well in order to generate the graphic, right? But you already saw the coding tool being used, and this one is the search tool. So this is a pure agentic workflow that you're able to see, and there you go. And you can see here Messi, Romero, and Fernandez. And this is absolutely right. And it is also given some commentary here. This powerful header, perfect, right? So if you saw the match, you exactly know that this is all true. This is exactly what happened. So real time information, really well done. It just gave like really good information as part of the image. So very well done. So that was the second test. Now let's get into the third category. All right, so now I want to show you something else, right? So let's say that here I want to upload my picture. I want it to basically search for the trendiest men's outfit for summer and then show how I would look in it, right? So again, very interesting use case where we will see if it is able to really use the agentic workflow and look into different fashion trends and then give me an image of myself dressed in all of those kind of avatars. So it'll be pretty cool if it is able to do that. But then that's the idea, right? And I've asked for 3. So it's already starting to do the job. And it's also like very quick, and which is something which I really, right? So it has identified like some images here and I think made it already, but it's also giving me like the purchase link. Yeah. So like pretty cool, right? So this is, I don't know if this is my style, but maybe this is in fashion, but this is what it has created. And it is also telling where you can go ahead and buy it. So that is like another use case that I wanted to show. So since we are on my image, what I can also ask it to create an image of me riding a motorbike, but this time I want an actual GIF image, right? So this has always been an interesting one. Can we actually create a GIF right out of the box? So let's see if it is able to do that. We can already see that it is preparing multiple shots of the rider. I'm just very curious to see myself driving a bike. So that's pretty cool, pretty slick. So it needs to do like a 360 turn and stuff like that. So let's see how it is able to generate that. So it's going to assemble multiple frames. I'm going to give it some time to complete, and then we will come back and show you the final result. All right, so there you go. It was able to create this. This is pretty cool. We can see the animated GIF, right? So, and you're able to save it. I think there's still some work that can be done, but with just one prompt, you're able to see that it was able to create this. So that's pretty cool. Now, what I want to do here is I want to also show some of the other things that they have talked about, right? So as you're seeing here on the screen, you can see that they can also, for example, restore the image. So this was the original image and this is the output of that. This is very interesting. This was the original and this is the output. Of course, like you can also focus on a very specific one and you're able to change this. There are a few other things. For example, you can transpose your image, right? So can you imagine it in Japanese style? So you can see that that's what they've done. They've also created like before and after. And of course, you can have like composite image as well. Make this image of a cat and dog sitting together, vintage 35mm style, right? So not something which has not been done before, but now it would do this from an agentic perspective, right? So you can always like click on the thread and it'll take you through the entire thinking and all of those things. You can see how it was able to do this, right? So that's pretty cool. You're welcome to check it out. They also previewed the Muse video, right? So you can see all of this interesting creations, and it also comes with audio as well. And this is in preview right now, right? So there's no way I could have tested this, but I think if you look at the text to video arena, it is right now number 3 below Omni and Sedans, which of course are doing fantastically well, right? So there's something pretty interesting going on here. And last thing which I wanted to talk about is the content seal. So they have created a detection tool, which is like the image detection tool. And then if I upload this here, it should be able to identify whether this was created by the app using Meta Muse AI. So it found the watermark, right? So this is pretty fantastic. And what they're also saying is you cannot crop the image. It doesn't work like that. Even if you have cropped it, compressed it, or resized it, or screenshotted it, it'll still be able to detect whether this was created by AI. I think this is the need of the industry, and I think they're doing a pretty fantastic job. So other companies like Google have already done this. So for example, they have SynthID, where you are able to detect whether this was created by Gemini, and Meta has come up with this detection tool, right? So this is pretty fantastic, which is called Content Seal. So yeah, that's what I wanted to cover today. Go check it out yourself. It is available in meta.ai and also in the Meta app. And I feel that it is really good, right? And the agentic workflow is really awesome. So I loved playing around with this. All right. Let me know in the comment section if you guys have any questions. If you're new here, would love for you to like and subscribe to the channel so that you can get to see videos like this. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.